Business Life Today is brought to you by Ghana Commercial Bank.
You're welcome back. And the Bank of Ghana could, in the coming days, issue some bonds to clear all the toll debts. Joy Business understands that the regulator has reached an agreement with some commercial banks to go ahead and issue the bonds. George Afi has more in this report.
Sources say the agreement was reached after some extensive engagement with the commercial banks. According to persons close to the deal, the current toll debt could be put at around 1 billion Ghana cedis. Even though the Bank of Ghana could issue the bond very soon, according to banks the Joy Business have spoken to, it is however not clear for now whether it will be separate from the current bonds that government is issuing, or it could be a 3-year, 5-year, or a 10-year bond. If the Bank of Ghana is able to issue the bond, let's just say next week, it could go a long way to improve the financial position of these banks that toll owes. This could lead to an improved credit to businesses and even interest paid on funds borrowed being lowered. Some analysts say if the move actually works, it could result in the clearing of the toll debt, which has been around for more than 5 years. A development that resulted in levying of some taxes on petroleum products to clear the debt, which actually led to prices going up at the pumps.
The Deputy Executive Director of the African Center for Energy Policy, Bemboachi, has joined us on the phone to share his opinion on this particular directive. Bemboachi, you're welcome to the Business Life.
Good afternoon to your viewers as well.
Exactly. Now, the deal, let me say, the stone is cast. Now it's about time. The government is actually made some deal with the banks to sort of like turn or convert the debt, the toll debt, to some bonds to be raised so we can actually settle all these things once and for all. What's your opinion on that?
Yes, I think it's a position we have always supported because you need to bring toll back to that financial position that allows it to trade effectively with businesses home and abroad. And do that, raising bonds to clear their debt is an option. And we think that we are on the same page with government on that policy decision to make sure that TOR is able to raise the needed financing for the operation.
What we are picking is that they're going to raise some 10-year bond to actually do this particular work, and the entire 1.9 billion is actually not going to be paid straight away. They're going to raise 1 billion from the beginning, and then the remaining 900 million to be looked at later on. I mean, with this particular structure, how is it going to impact on the debt and also the industry at large?
I mean, from where we sit, we're not told what the debt position is now. We don't know the amount as of now.
From our sources, we are picking what's about 1.9 billion.
1.9 billion Ghana cedis.
Exactly.
Right. Well, then that means that what we have been paying over the years for toll debt recovery levy hasn't been going to service that debt. And that is a big challenge. And government will also have to tell us going forward what the policy would be on that levy. Because if we have been paying, and our estimate that we did last year showed clearly that we had finished paying that debt. So if we still have 1.9 billion sitting in the books of TOR, then it is worrying to say. But you would also expect to see a management structure that allows TOR to be able to pay for the bonds when they mature. Because if you raise bonds to use the money and at the end of the day you're not able to service the bonds when the time comes, then government will have to step in. And that is why it is important that we give TOR that free hand to remain accountable to the people of Ghana and government for that matter, without the usual interference in the operations that we have seen in the past. If we don't get that structure streamlined, then we would come back to a situation where the bonds will go into political decisions rather than financing.
But maybe let me ask this. Okay, in about 30 seconds, if you can actually help me with this, is it a good position or is it a good thing?
I think your voice is gone very far, and I can hardly hear you.
Okay, we thank you very much, Mr. Bemboache there, who is also the Deputy Director at ASAP. Now, giving us some perspective into that, because we're hearing government is actually all like, but said the Bank of Ghana is actually in the process of finishing that particular bond deal to convert all the toll debt to some bonds there, so we can have toll free of debt and move on with their production and others. Moving on here on Business Live, some players in the automobile industry are pressing for policies targeted at improving local content in the sector. The Executive Director of Toyota Ghana, Eric Darko, outlined some of the parameters crucial for more investment in the automobile industry. He spoke Joy Business at the launch of Toyota's new generation Fortuner.
Local capacity in automobile manufacturing has been a major challenge to many developing countries. Here in Ghana, there have been calls on automobile companies to even consider assembling their vehicles here in Ghana, rather than importing already manufactured ones into the country. Speaking at the launch of Toyota's new generation Fortuner, the CEO of the Association of Ghana Industries, Seth Chum Akwabua, charged Toyota Ghana to consider manufacturing parts in Ghana to promote local content participation.
I will always urge Toyota Ghana to also start looking at areas where we can also have further local content in whatever we do. For instance, are there some parts of the vehicle that we can explore and get local companies to produce, even if it will not be part of the new vehicle that has come, as the vehicles are wearing out and we are changing parts, and there's some of the parts that we can produce here. And I think that as we collaborate with other automobile industries or companies in the country, we should be able to achieve something like this in the course of time.
The Executive Director of Toyota Ghana, Eric Darko, in response told Joy Business, government policies geared towards improving power supply and skills development are critical in driving this agenda.
The issue of local content is something that is going to be beneficial to every person in Ghana, as long as we're able to have some level of local content. At least people are going to be employed. Job creation is something that we need. And we're also going to gain in terms of inflows of foreign currency into the country. But of course, before you go in for local content, so many things are considered. This is not the first time of hearing about local content, and this is also not the first time that we are discussing it with our partners. It is just that so many things have to be taken into consideration. For instance, how cheap is our electricity consumption? You know, production goes with electricity. Apart from the cost of electricity, how reliable? You look at skill level of the country. You look at vehicle clearing systems in the country. So there are so many things that, let me say, the manufacturer is also considering.
The new Toyota Fortuner has been tailored to meet global trends and changing customer demands.
And Ghana's tourism industry is set to have enormous potential that has not been fully utilized. That's captured in a report released by Javago, an internet-based hotel booking service in Africa. According to the report, the contribution of tourism in generating revenue in Ghana's economy has increased rapidly at the rate of about 3.5% over the last few years, whilst its contribution to GDP is 7.8%. Speaking to Joy Business at the launch of the report, country manager of Javago Ghana, Claire Stahl, emphasized the need for more effort in improving Ghana's tourism potential.
We see that the hospitality is increasing, tourism is increasing, because we don't only want to talk about the hotels, but we're talking about all kinds of companies. We're talking about entertainment, tourism in general. So it's increasing every year, and we think that more and more people from outside are actually coming to the country to book hotels, to stay, to enjoy entertainments in the country. You guys here in Ghana actually have a lot of beautiful, beautiful tourism destinations. You have a lot of different parks, you have different regions who have different things to offer. And I think the more we promote it, the more people from abroad, as well as the Ghanaians itself, are going to travel and experience all of that.
How is Jovago likely to help improve the sector, particularly now that you're coming into the system and seeing that you've been releasing this? I mean, how is it likely to benefit the industry in any way?
So we're definitely trying to promote the tourism industry because it will also eventually benefit Jovago as a company. The more people are traveling, the better for the business. The more we are promoting different regions that people might not be immediately aware of to go and visit. Think about Bolgatanga in the north, think about Sunyani and Brongahafo. There are different destinations that we're trying to put out on social media. We're trying to bring more information to the guests about the destination, plus all the activities around that destination, monkey sanctuary, all different places where people can actually enjoy themselves, and then indirect also book a hotel on Jovago.
Meanwhile, the PRO of Jovago Ghana, Bennett Otu, commenting on the report on the marketplace, highlighted some grey areas that could be leveraged by stakeholders to develop tourism.
As much as we want to do a lot, we are sometimes restricted by the policies and the implementations of the government. Right. The report raised concerns as to the fact that only tourist sites are being noted. When we talk about the tourism industry, people actually concentrate on the few tourist sites that we have. But actually, there are a lot of untapped resources that we have in the tourism industry. Let's look at restaurants, for instance. It's a key role. When somebody wants to come to Ghana, to be able to feel okay and comfortable in the country, the person has to have access to good food to eat. Restaurants, car rentals, all those things, hotels, all those things contribute to the tourism industry, and those are sectors that are really, really untapped in this country. Okay. I urge everybody to move into these areas to make sure that the industry goes well.
Internet service providers continue to explore ways of meeting the demands of customers, all in a bid to beat competition, which is currently at its peak. The latest is Airtel Ghana, which has introduced a new data bundle product dubbed Airtel Flex that awards customers with a percentage of any purchase made. Speaking to Joy Business at the launch, the marketing director, Rosie spoke and explained the product as also offering free access to some social media applications while encouraging savings on Airtel Money Wallet.
Flex is literally the most innovative data bundle product on the market today. We're very excited to be launching Flex tonight. What's amazing about Flex is that you get access to free social media sites such as Facebook, WhatsApp, and then you also can stream YouTube for free. But in addition, every time you make a purchase on Flex, you get a percentage of that back in your Airtel Money wallet. So we're very excited because it's really unique, it's very innovative, and we know this is what customers are looking for. Customer service is actually one of the areas that's very important to us, and our ability to really get a lot of customer insights and action them is the reason why Airtel is the fastest growing telecommunications network today. So one of the things we do is really pay attention to what our customers' needs are. When it comes to product definitions, it's about creating products that our customers want and suiting them to the various different segments of customers that we have. So it's not a cookie cutter approach. And Flex is an example of that. We realized that the youth wanted a product that they could identify with, a place where they could go to get access to free social media, which is one of the things that's most important to them. But as they come out of school, etc., they get into the habit of saving, and this is why the fact that they get a portion of the amount they're using to purchase back into their Airtel Money wallet is very important. So these are some of the things we do to make sure that we keep our customers excited and we give them products that suit their needs.
We're taking a short break. Business Live returns. Hey, welcome back, and this is Business Live. You can still keep your comment and your feedback coming in. Our Twitter handle is Joy Business GH, and on Facebook it's Joy Business. We do have Bertha Atubiga here to actually take us to the market to look at how the Ghana Stock Exchange actually did fare today and how your investments are also faring. Bertha, you're welcome.
Thank you very much, John.
Exactly. Can you tell us, how's the market been like today, being a Monday?
Okay, let me start from last week, okay?
Yeah.
You know, last week was a very good week we had more equities gaining as compared to the losers.
Exactly.
We had only 3 equities losing, and we had over 5 equities gaining on the market. You know, surprisingly, some of the equities that gained last week shared of the same gains they made for the whole of last week.
So essentially, the net effect is zero.
It's zero.
Okay.
You see.
All right.
So today we had Cow, which gained 4 pesos last week, closing today at 80 pesos. It's shared of the 4 peso gain it had last week. And then we had EGH EcoBank, which gained a peso last week, closing at 3 cedis 35 pesos, and it's shared of the peso gain. Last week it closed at 34. So last week it closed at 6 cedis 35 pesos. So the peso gain last week was also shared of today. And then we had some other equities. We had GCB. GCB also gained 2 pesos last week to close at 3 cedis 6 pesos per share. And opening today at the close of 3 o'clock straight, we saw GCB shedding of 2 pesos. So it was the same gains that we made last week that were actually lost today.
Okay.
So we had all equities.
So on the equity level, on individual equity levels, we had almost a net effect of zero. But at the total market level, the composite market level, we see some declines to the composite index,
and then the financial
to
stock
the
index.
financial stock, and also the market cap is also losing gradually. What's actually happening?
But you know, last week was actually a good week for the major indices.
Exactly, yeah.
The composite and then the financial stock
No,
index. They went up
the composite index gained last week, but then the financial index really lost some bit of it.
Okay, so but from our data, we saw both indices actually inching up marginally. The composite index went up by 0.36%, and then we saw 0.94%, and the financial stock index went up by 0.36%. And the market cap also went up about 100 million Ghana cedis last week. But looking at the drops that we're seeing today, actually it was an all losers market. All the equities that actually moved today were only 3, and they were all losers. So definitely we're going to see the major indices decline downwards, like we're going to see them dip further into the negative regions.
Okay.
But you look at the total volumes of shares that we traded last week, it went down drastically. Okay, not drastically, but it went down by 13.25%. And then you look at the total volumes of shares that traded today was almost half of the total volumes of shares that we traded last week. So today we had about 684,400 shares trading on the stock market, and that is quite impressive as compared to the daily trades that we had from Monday to Friday last week. And you look at the value of the shares that were traded, it was at 621,242 Ghana cedis, and the deals or transactions that took place was higher than every single deal that we had last week. So despite the fact that we had these equities, the movers being like representing or recording downward moves, as in losing on their previous share prices, we saw the deals or transactions that took place today being higher than the normal deals that we usually have on the market. So last week, or today's market actually turned the market's history that we usually have. Like last week, we were so happy that the market was actually doing well, despite the fact that we're not seeing more shares trading. But this week, if this is how it is going to start with more shares trading, but more equities losing, then it is not going to end on a very good note.
So what is the trajectory now? Are we going to see the market? Because we're almost, we are in the half year now. We are in June now. So what's the projection like, the outlook? Are we going to see some better prospects come next year? This particular, the remaining 6 months ahead of us. Yeah.
Is it this week or next
We can say this week, but I'm looking at...
Okay, so this week, let me talk about this week first. This week, we still expect this volatility that we had last week to continue. And then looking at first, the next half of the year, we're expecting the major indices to actually record negative returns, but to be a bit better than what we saw last year.
Okay. Yeah. Anything on the commodities and the currency, if you do have
Well, the currency market, let's say last week, the CD actually lost to all the major trading partners on the interbank market. And when you look at our daily gains or the year-to-date depreciation, looking at the Gold Coast CD index, the CD recorded a year-to-date depreciation of 3.14% against these major trading partners. That's the dollar, the pound, the euro, and then the CFA. And at week end, the quote for the CD, we had the dollar closing at 3 Ghana cedis 8994 pesos. The pound was at 5 Ghana cedis 5709 pesos, and the euro was at 4 Ghana cedis 3870 pesos.
Okay. All right. We thank you very much, Bertha, to get there with that insight stuff. We actually going to get back to you. We look at that in detail. Here. on Business Live. We're moving on Business Live, and we have our special business feature. Cybersecurity firm E-Crime Bureau has warned businesses in Ghana may have to brace themselves for more and worse cases of cyber fraud in the coming years unless they invest in a lot more in their electronic security systems. It follows last week's ATM fraud case involving two Bulgarians who reportedly caused series of unauthorized withdrawal from the account of their victims. More in this report.
The two Bulgarian fraudsters were arrested following a formal complaint by Prudential Bank, Ghana, whose customers were affected. Speaking to Joy Business, the founder and principal consultant of E-Crime Bureau, Albert Nfibuesiakun, noted the incident is only a wake-up call for businesses across all sectors to channel more investments into cybersecurity to avert possible attacks in the near future.
No doubt about it, within the next coming years, at least from now to the next 5 years, we're going to see complex, sophisticated cyber attacks. And out of that, I think a lot of investment will be made in terms of the cyber environment. It's not just the banking sector. It cut across all sectors. But the SME sector, they are also suffering in terms of cyber threats. Once again, it's just that normally we focus on the banks. All the wider, remember we are in the information technology society now. Everything on cyber platform. E-governance is there from the government side, the telecommunication side, e-commerce. So we are expecting one thing for sure is the cyber crime will increase. There will be more complex attacks, sophisticated in the next coming months and years, until we come to a level that maximum attention will be given to security and investment in that area.
The Bureau is also impressing on universal banks the need to pay more attention to the roles of their staff, especially in electronic transactions, citing background checks on staff before recruitment, as well as training on security protocols. Mr. Nfibuesiakun explains this has become more critical because of the paradigm shift in banking operations to electronic products and services.
Sometimes internal employees also aid the process. I did mention sometimes it could be even what, non-aware. They might not be aware indirectly, but they might be giving assistance information to the perpetrators who are outside. And that means they've got to be cautious. Whoever approaches them to engage them to do one thing or the other, they have to have a rethink. It's very important. The banks do quite a lot. Good banks doing background checks on their employees, training for them so that they will become aware of some of these risks. And also, of course, general HR and the welfare. I think they know that that position is a position of trust, and they stay on that course. But you could have few people who have also gone in there for their own malicious intentions. And these are the areas that the bank's risk strategies look at and in addressing them.
According to E-Crime Bureau, cyber attackers are targeting weak databases and payment card channels and using this information to create duplicate cards for ATM transactions or online shopping. The increasing integration of Visa and MasterCard payments into traditional cards, though secure, are also said to be providing avenues for card data to be stolen and exploited. The Bureau is therefore urging users of financial services to be more security conscious in their everyday transactions.
That was our special feature there. Another caution is know who you give your biodata to, and also some banking details. Even other banking hall, don't just trust anybody. On that note, we end today's edition of Business Live. You can keep your comment and contributions coming in. Our Twitter handle is JoyBusinessGH, and on Facebook, we are Joy Business. For more, you can log on to myjoyonline.com/business. My name is John Kojo Amwago. Have a very good evening.